Welcome to What We Bring Back, an exploration of the intelligence of the plant kingdom and the relationship we've cultivated as human beings. In this series, we give a voice to explorers of consciousness, from modern-day scientists doing groundbreaking research into the chemistry and physiology of the brain, to shamanistic practitioners whose ongoing dialogues with the Gaian mind has roots stretching back for thousands of years. We will be speaking to those who have ventured into these realms and found solace, peace, and healing. From mystics to addicts, we aim to lend an ear to the voice that speaks from the heart of the earth to our minds, bodies, and souls, making audible what was previously ineffable, and to provide a canvas on which to paint our inner landscapes. This series is a culmination of personal accounts and journeys undertaken by people from all walks of life into the province of the mind, where we cast our nets into the unfathomable abyss, where the minnows of minutia are too small and the unlanguageable leviathans too big. Yet somewhere in between what is perceived and what it means is what we bring back.
I'm Sudish. I go by Sudish. Seems like I live in California, so everybody changes their name out here. I have a relationship with plant medicines, pretty regular. I work with a lot of different plant medicines, actually. I first started really getting into plant medicines, I think, when I partook of ayahuasca for the first time, which was about 2003 or so. And that door opened to the plant world because a lot of the plants in the earth are communicating through the ayahuasca. Through years of using that medicine, I started to gain an interest in all the plant medicines. So I've taken herbal studies classes and learned about different kinds of plant allies, all kinds of medicinals. Right now I'm using nettles a lot for my allergies, as well as eucalyptus steams. I use yarrow. It's an immune enhancer. I've been using eye bright, also for allergies. It helps the itchiness of the eyes and stuff. But I really owe the interest that I have in plants to the ayahuasca. So it's been since 2003. That's 12 years now that I've been journeying with ayahuasca. And I also work with peyote in the context of the Native American church, as well as with the Huichol people and on my own. And the San Pedro, which is kind of similar to the peyote, but it's not used in the north ritually like the peyote is. I had an out-of-body experience when I was 18 that completely changed my life. Led me from a homeless kid without a purpose to wanting to know everything about everything, and led me on a spiritual journey, led me to yoga and meditation. And I used it a little bit after that, but I kind of, after you penetrate the veil with something like that, it's hard for me to use things like LSD or mushrooms in a non-ceremonial context these days, because I always want to, as I call it, pierce the veil. It's that moment of when you get out of the mind into direct experience. And this is that experience that all the mystics are pointing to. And so that opened the door to direct experience with entheogens. So it wasn't until many years down the road that I encountered ayahuasca. And I this particular spring, I think I drank it twice, and it was very powerful and very scary because it opened the door to not only blissful states, but also the states of perceiving my own demons, so to speak, my own darkness. And that can be a really scary space. And for the first 5 times or so I used it over the course of a few years, it scared me, really scary, frightened me because of the dark realms it would take me to. It's one that is, it's a teacher plant, but it doesn't sugarcoat anything. It gives you kind of tough love, I would call it. So it didn't stop at just superficial light experiences, but showed me the depths of what I need to work on. So it wasn't until probably a few years later that I decided I had taken a break from it, but it was still with me. I was still tuning into that medicine because it's such a powerful presence, and those experiences were so powerful in my life that it was still with me. I was walking with that medicine, and I could feel it, and I would sing songs, compose songs inspired by it. So it came to a point where I decided it was really time to do the deep works with it, and I went to South America to study with a shaman down there. I ran into some friends down there, and they introduced me to a woman outside of Iquitos, a healer, who they would call a vegetalista, where you have ayahuasqueros that work specifically with ayahuasca for the healing, and you also have vegetalistas. The vegetalistas work with ayahuasca, but they're also herbalists. So this woman is an herbalist. She has an extensive knowledge of plants. So as well as dieting with the ayahuasca, which is drinking several times a week and following a strict diet, she also worked with other plant medicines. That's where I was introduced to different ways of using plants, like the steams. Like I was saying, I do eucalyptus steams. So she has another ceremony of sorts where it's kind of like a sweat lodge. It comes from, she said, the Campos indigenous tribe, where you take a bowl of charcoals and you put some plants on top of that, and it starts to smoke and heat up, and you wrap a blanket around yourself and put that between your legs. So all the smoke and the heat gets caught in the blanket, and you sweat and sweat and sweat for hours. It's not very pleasant. But the plant medicines that she works with, like ajo sacha and eucalyptus and palo santo, it just all gets into your pores, and you feel really cleansed afterwards. And she also had me diet with one called Waka Parana, which is a medicine that it's a day-long journey of sorts. It's not a visionary plant, so to speak. But it does have some visionary properties. It really makes you sweat. It makes you go to the bathroom. It's a diuretic. So all day long you're going to the bathroom. You lay down. It's hard to get up because it really lays you out. But it's very consistent in its making you have to go to the bathroom. And it cleans you out that way. And I say it wasn't very visionary, but my sight was as clear as it's been probably in my life, like crystal clear vision. And then that was accompanied with a special diet that went with it. You're not supposed to or have any chocolate or alcohol, she said, for 5 months afterwards. No ferments, no sex either, so that the medicine stays in you. I think those things can kind of cover up the medicine, kind of. And so that was really powerful. I was treating parasites and stomach issues that I had. The thing that happened, though, I went to town one day. I left the jungle after dieting with this, and I had a coconut, and the coconut was slightly fermented, and it really gave me a first-hand observation of why you're not supposed to have ferments with those medicines, because almost immediately I got a really high fever and a migraine headache and felt terrible. So it was almost as if all the work that I had been doing, it kind of reversed it right then. So I had to go back to the jungle and sat in ceremony with her. And she's a really potent healer. So after a night of drinking ayahuasca, she comes around and she'll give limpias, where she diagnoses you. What she can see, she's empathic, and she can see what's going on in your body. And so she told me that it was that coconut that caused that, and it kind of, she called it a short-circuiting. It short-circuited the medicine I was working with, the Waka Pirana. So luckily the ayahuasca helped me got rid of the headache and the pains and stuff. And so I had to continue with my dieta after that with the ayahuasca. It is over the course of that first dieta that I had with her, I went there with a lot of body pain and neck pains and upper back pains, and to the point where I was really feeling discouraged, and stomach problems too. By the end of that dieta, which was only really 5 times drinking but lasted 11 or 12 days, my body was made new. I was a completely new person. Not to mention the visionary insights that the medicine can give you, which is why a lot of Westerners go there now, is for the visionary. They want to know God. A lot of the people down there, they go for physical ailments. They need healing in their body. And so that's what a lot of shamans use it for. And that's how she kind of uses it. She calls her place a hospital. So she treats people with all kinds of conditions. And she herself has healed herself with all plant medicines of cancer. And she's been free of cancer ever since, using the ayahuasca and one called, it's called the achote. It's a tree that grows down there, and there's lots of different varieties, makes these red pods. And she took and showed me once all the different varieties of achote and how they cure all these different things. So using achote and ayahuasca and other plant medicine, she healed herself of cancer. So there's also people that come to heal addictions. It helps heal addictions, alcoholism, drug use, all kinds of things. It's not. I mean, I'm careful not to get into the realm of thinking it's a miracle cure, because I believe it really works best with other plant medicines too. But it can get a lot of places that a lot of traditional medicine can't even get to, because the difference is where traditional Western medicine, it's like if you have a tree, say the sickness is a tree, and you cut all the branches off. Maybe you leave a little stump. That stump's still there, and then it can sprout again. Where ayahuasca gets to the roots, and it roots up the sickness from the very base. And a lot of times the sicknesses are related to traumas in your life or things that you've been holding. How all sickness in the body is related to psychological elements. So I've been back again. This time for 3 weeks. I went. That was last time, a couple years ago, and with stomach problems. It's something that I've dealt with, and it's probably been of all the different remedies and methods I've tried for healing my stomach, it has been the most thorough at relieving me and helping my health.